Welcome to Macro Magic. I'm Sheri DeMaris, and with me today is Patricio Garcia de Paredes, and we're filming him live from Japan. And I haven't seen Patricio for over 10 years. He's an amazing chef, author, cooking teacher, and he has made beautiful cookbooks that so many people use in the United States. And I'm so happy to have him on the show. Welcome, Patricio.
Thank you, Sheri. Very happy to be here with you. Thank you for inviting me.
And I'm so excited that you're going to be cooking today on the show and cooking a brown rice risotto dish, which we all love. Your cooking's amazing. When I taught with Patricio in Amsterdam for several years, he was always the star of the show. He had such amazing dishes, and people just gathered around him. We called him the Michael Jackson of the cooking world. So tell us a little bit about what you'll be making today.
The dance. Yeah, actually, I love cooking since I'm a kid. You know, I've been in the kitchen since I'm around 5-6 years old, and so it's been part of my life. I've always been cooking with kind of whole foods, kind of healthy foods, because my mother, that's what she had in the kitchen, and she told me you can use whatever you have in the kitchen and anything is fine. But she only had kind of healthy foods, whole foods. So you may say that's my specialty, but I try to make it fun, for people to enjoy eating healthy. And so today I wanted to show you a little bit, kind of like a simple dish that I love. It's a brown rice risotto with some mushrooms, and it's kind of simple. I love to use it using leftovers. Everybody have a tendency to ask, okay, what do I do with my brown rice? I have leftovers on the next day. So this is a wonderful idea to use leftovers.
Great, and we're so excited to see what you're creating. I have your dessert book, by the way, on my cookbook shelf, but it's all in Japanese. So I oftentimes try to look at the photos to figure out how to make the desserts.
Actually, one of them, I have two sweets cookbooks published, and one of them has the recipes in English, but they're on the back. So please check the back, and it might have the recipes in English. Sometimes you don't notice, but sometimes in the back they have the English translations.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so should I start?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So are people going to have the recipe also, or they're going to have access to the recipe? Or
we're going to post the recipe on our website, macromagic.com.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Okay, so I just go along, and I got to make a short demonstration, so I already kind of made the preparation. So I'm going to start by heating up the pan. I'm going to make the base for the risotto. And I'm going to start by sauteing a little bit of garlic and a little bit of onions. I'm originally from Spain, but I love risotto, which is, from Italy. In Spain, we love paella and a little bit more dry kind of rice dishes. But in Italy, they like it kind of creamy. So that's what we're going to do today, a little bit more creamy, which goes very well with brown rice because it's a little bit more chewy and a little bit more hard. And so risottos go really well. So I'm warming up a little bit of oil. Could I show them a little bit also, like the pan, what's going on? A
Sure.
little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay. So let me bring it down. As you can see, I'm warming up a little bit of oil, and I'm going to start by sauteing a little bit of garlic, which I minced. Just heat it up a little bit, not too much. I'm going to make it kind of quick today, kind of like a short version, so that we can be ready in time and without making it too complicated. Some diced onions, hope you can see. All right, here goes the onions. Okay, I'm doing it in a fry pan because it kind of speeds up the process. You can do it in a little pot also. And I'm making a little bit less amount than in the recipe calls for, because the recipe is for about 4 people. I'm just making it for about half that amount. And I'm kind of going along kind of quickly. So I'm sauteing a little bit on a high flame. And next, I wanted to show you what I have. I have a little bit of celery, which I diced. I have a little bit of the celery leaves, which will be kind of like parsley, but I'm gonna add it now, so you know it sautés and gives flavor. And a little bit of mushrooms sliced. So there it goes into the fry pan.
And Patricio, this is such a nice recipe. It's so easy to follow.
It is. I try as much as possible. I was, like you mentioned, I work as a professional chef.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember sometimes doing demonstrations while I was a chef, and, my mind was more in a professional kitchen, so I forget that, that it takes time to buy things, mm-hmm. to cook them, to cut them, to prepare them, because, as a chef, you're a professional and that's what you do every day. So you think it's so easy. Mm-hmm. So I remember making these demonstrations. And I have these, long recipes, and I'm telling them, oh, this is so easy, because I'm thinking, in the professional kitchen, compared to that was very easy. But then everybody was looking at the recipes. This is not easy at all. So anyways, now I do a lot of home cooking, and I have a family too. So I have to, come up with dishes that are quick and easy. And this is one of them. It's quick and easy. So while sauteing the vegetables, I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. This will give a very nice flavor to the vegetables. And it makes the juices from inside the mushrooms to go out and flavors it very nicely.
Yeah, I like how you cut the celery so small. I think that's important in the risotto.
Yes, exactly. Because the risotto, usually it's not about having big pieces of things, but having a nice broth flavor where the rice cooks into it and the rice absorbs some of those flavors. Mm-hmm. So I suggest that you get a good knife and you practice a little bit cutting, because then your cooking gets better. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So now everything is sauteed. I'm gonna put a little bit of sake, which is rice wine. There is another type that's called mirin, which is more sweet. Sake is the one I'm using now is more dry, and that's because I'm in Japan. That's one, but also because I find it a bit milder than wine. But if you like white wine, or if people like a little bit of white wine once in a while, you are welcome to use that instead. So today I'm using sake. Again, this is for flavors. It's quick ways of adding flavors. Here I can show you the pot again. And then next, I'm going to add a little bit of dried porcini. It has a nice, strong flavor. So even if you use simple ingredients with these porcini mushrooms, you will get a really rich flavor. I soaked them. They were dry. I cut them already. I'm reserving the soaking liquid, so we're gonna put all of that together.
Now you can do this with white risotto rice as well, right? If you don't have brown.
Yes, that's right. No problem. And it could be also the white leftover white rice, just leftover white rice. And actually, if you if people want, if they have leftover some other grain like quinoa, they could still do these things. So basically, almost any grain could work. So again, it's a wonderful way to reheat grains. People stock them in the refrigerator, have leftover grains, and you can play around beyond rice, even if you want with other grains.
So you can use barley or farro or couscous.
That's right. Yes, exactly. But they should be cooked already. They should be pre-cooked, you may say. So it's just at the end you warm them up a little bit. Because otherwise you would have to cook it a little bit differently and much longer time until they cook. So this is like a quick recipe when you have leftover rice or grains. Okay, so next, besides the salt, today I'm going to use a little bit of soy sauce, miso, and a bay leaf, all of which is gonna give a nice flavor. Very nice flavor. It's not gonna be overpowering, like you're not really gonna taste the soy sauce nor the miso, but it's gonna give it a lot of depth of flavor behind. And it's kind of something like, many risottos, they use like chicken broth or seafood broths and so on. So this will kind of give that kind of nice, rich flavor. Along with, in the recipe, I have something that I call kombu and dried shiitake stock.
Or unami.
I want to make a quick comment about it. Again, this is because I'm in Japan and I'm used to to flavor a lot of food with kombu is it's loved here in Japan for making broth stock and then for using for cooking. It gives a lot of depth of flavor besides many of the minerals that it's in the kombu. So it can be both healthy and tasty.
Oh, that's beautiful. So Patricio, we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to watch you continue cooking.
Okay.
And ask you a bunch of questions about what else is going in the risotto.
Okay, great.
Guess what it is? It's Mount Laurel, New Jersey. It's RBN Television, and you know that it's time for morning coffee.
Would you like people screwing with you for whatever fucking reason, right? But your husband can't give you understand?
Come join us on April 25th at the Wall of Love and Hope as we fight to keep families together. Only you can make this change happen.
Welcome back. I'm Sheri-Lynn DeMaris. I'm with Patricio Garcia de Paredes in Japan, and we just started a risotto dish, something amazing. He's an amazing cook and chef. And you were sharing with us, Patricio, that you had to scale down all your ingredients so you can make them teachable because you have such creativity. It sort of explodes and people get a little bit nervous of how to follow all the steps in your recipes. So this risotto looks pretty simple that we can follow, which is good.
Yes, exactly. So I'm trying to make things kind of not afraid for people to try at home, because the most important is not just to see the demonstration, but that you can make it at home and that you can enjoy the cooking and the food by yourself. So I just wanted to point out one thing, because in the as part of the stock, I used it says kombu and shiitake stock, and I just wanted to point out that this is the leftover that I have. This is the dried shiitake after simmering for about 10 to 15 minutes with the kombu, and that's the broth that I used today. But I wanted to point out that if you don't have these ingredients, because maybe a little bit kind of new for people, just a vegetable broth or even water will be good enough, because it should have enough flavor. So just I wanted to point that out. And now I'm gonna just show you the end, which is we're gonna put the rice, cook it in, and serve it. So I just want people to see that I've been simmering. 10 to 15 minutes should be enough. And this is cooked brown rice with a little bit of, today I use red rice. I suggest in the recipe that you try with wild rice. I love this risotto with a little bit of wild rice. Another one is like a kind of like a black rice or red rice, or, it's just to play around with textures and colors. This has already been cooked. I love pressure cooking brown rice, but just boiled brown rice is fine. And like Sheri pointed out, could be white rice or some other grain like quinoa or whatever you have cooked. I'm adding it in, and we're just gonna cook it in until it becomes a bit creamy, and that's it. It should be quick and simple. It will absorb the liquid quite quickly.
Now, Patricio, you already put the kombu shiitake stock in, and you already put the miso and the soy sauce in.
That's right. I did that already, and it had been already simmering for a few minutes. While we took the break, it's been simmering for about 10 minutes by now. So all of that is already in here.
And like I said, you can find Patricio's recipe on our website, www.macromagic.com. We'll be posting that soon.
Okay. And then I'm going to serve it top today with a little bit of some fresh greens, like baby greens, which I washed already, and a touch of balsamic vinegar, which I have reduced a little bit. You simmer it to about half, and it becomes a little bit like a syrup, which is kind of sweet and sour, and it gives it like a really wonderful touch. So it's a simple recipe, but it's good enough to serve it on a little bit kind of like a party day, or to some friends. You have them over. Okay, I love this consistency, this texture. It's kind of creamy. And I'm just gonna serve it. Plate it. Just to give you a little bit of an idea of
It's
how to
beautiful.
present it. This would
So
be
beautiful.
perfectly fine. And then a few leaves on top.
Gorgeous.
And then you just pour a bit of balsamico.
Wow. So beautiful. Thank you, Patricio.
Okay.
So we all want to be there eating it.
I wish you could taste it. Yeah, that's the only thing about doing things through Zoom, is that you cannot really actually taste it. That's the only thing.
I know. But we want to talk to you more about where you're teaching now, because I understand that during the pandemic you started doing Zoom classes, and where people can reach you if they're interested in signing up for a level class or just a cooking class.
Yeah, actually, what I would suggest is that they take they can look at my website, macrobioticschooljapan.com. And there, all the information, the website, of course, it's in Japanese, both Japanese and English, so they can look at the English part. And all the information of all the activities that I do will be posted there. And from now on, I'm gonna even add a little bit more online classes, because obviously after the pandemic, a lot of schools have gone partly online in order to be able to keep up with the activities, and I have been doing that also. Yes, and they're welcome anytime to join us.
I know when I visited you years ago, you had people lining up. You had to turn people away because so many people in Japan, especially in Tokyo, the young people wanted to take your classes. So I'm so happy that you're continuing them, and hopefully, as we talk during break, that you might even open the doors to having them in person again.
Yes, obviously I'm looking forward for that, because I love having people over. I love cooking with them. We do a lot of hands-on cooking. In Japan, people like to actually experience the cooking, and I love that now. Mm-hmm. I love cooking with them. We cook together, and hopefully in the future also I'd like to have a little bit bigger events that people can come, like international events. I mean, that people can stay for a few days in Japan. And it's a wonderful food culture they have here in Japan, and there's so many healthy things. Mm-hmm. And there's so many aspects of the food culture that more and more people around the world are becoming interested. Today, for example, I used a little bit of miso and soy sauce. These are fermented, and probiotics have been recommending more and more in the United States because of the bacteria and the effects on the digestive system, and more people want to learn how to cook more with those things. Especially whole grains. I love the combination of what I did today, whole grains and some kind of fermented food, whether it's some pickles or because then you get so-called the probiotics or the fermentation, the enzymes, the bacteria, and then you get all the benefits of the whole grains, including the fiber. Now also suggesting we need more prebiotics. Whole grains contain all of that. So I think it's a wonderful marriage of two types of ingredients that not only are healthy, but actually you can really enjoy a lot of cooking with it.
Yes, probiotics and prebiotics, because the prebiotics will feed off the probiotics, like the whole grains, which is great. And we were talking too, you have some students in Malaysia that are, you're hoping to, as you teach, that they create centers and learning opportunities in these various countries.
Yes, actually, I studied at the Kushi Institute in the United States for a long time, with close to Michio Kushi. And then I worked with him here in Japan, and we opened the Kushi Institute of Japan. And the core program that we had, the levels, which is well known among macrobiotic people, it's kind of the goal of that program is for people to continue the studies, first to implement, dietary changes, lifestyle changes for themselves, of course, but then move on and consider the whole family. And then many people get motivated to bring it into their life work. And so the course kind of continues and goes deeper. And one of the big goals of that course has always been the idea of people go back to their countries and they start teaching and sharing it with other people. Yeah. And that's something that I continue to do, and it's always one of my kind of goals in my activities. And yes, now there's a lot of interest in Asia is growing, because traditionally they have a very kind of healthy, basic food culture, but like everywhere else in the world, kind of moved away from that.
Yeah.
Lots of fast food, lots of processed foods, lots of heavy foods, and so health declines, obviously. And so the interest for healthy cooking, healthy eating is increasing right now all over Asia. And so it's a wonderful opportunity to share with them many.
Yeah, it's beautiful what you're doing. Thank you for coming on the show, Patricio. I think what you said was very important about the probiotics and the prebiotics, and your recipe was beautiful. I hope viewers can follow it. Thank you, viewers, for listening, and remember to look up on our website macromagic.com to read about Patricio's recipe and also what activities he's been doing in Japan. This is Sheri DeMaris, and we hope to see you next time.